A dish from my childhood that I had really fond memory of is Yang2 Chun1 Mian4, or literally translated as sunny spring noodles. It has a similar preparation method as ramen and not commonly known outside of Shanghai area. I'm calling it Shanghai style clear ramen in the title because it has similar flavor profile as ramen. It looks extremely simple with just 3 ingredients: noodle, broth, and a sprinkle of green onion. So I'm going to share the 3 secrets to make the perfect bowl of Shanghai style ramen, Yang2 Chun1 Mian4. Number 1 is the broth. It is typically made from different kind of meat with bones, fish, or veggies, and of course add spices to balance the flavor. Every style of ramen broth use different combination, but for Shanghai style ramen, commonly use a combination of chicken, pork, and duck with bones. Today I'm using chicken bones, pork with bones, plus a piece of beef shank. It is not common to use beef here, but my family really like it and this is what I have. First, we need to get rid of the scum by boiling the meat in the boiling water. Once you boil the water for like 3 to 5 minutes and see the scum floating on top, and you can just pull away the water and keep the meat. Then fill the pot with cold water to start to make the stock. Using the cold water will help to extract the flavor from the meat much better. And adding green onion, some ginger, and a bag of spices. The 2 key spices I will always use for such meat stock is Chinese cinnamon and cumin seed, because they can balance the pungent taste from the meat. You can just use this 2, or you can add additional flavor that you like or what you have in the pantry. Now use a high heat to bring it to boil and skimming the remaining scum off, and then turn the heat to medium-low. Then just let it to stew for another 2 to 3 hours. However, I did took out the beef shank in about 30 minutes, so the meat is still tasty. After 3 hours, the rest of meat are tasteless, so you just need to strain the broth and it's ready to be used. Now the secret number 2, which is the noodle itself. A perfect bundle of noodle is smooth, chewy, and has the perfect thickness that you like. Freshly made ones are always better than the store-bought ones. If you do it right, you will be making a great bowl of ramen versus a good bowl of ramen. To create that smooth, chewy texture, I use egg white to make the noodles. You can also use a whole egg instead of just egg white, although the pure egg white is slightly better and it will give the noodle more bounciness. And I have another video to show you how to make homemade ramen noodles with a link at the end of this video and in the description. Please check it out. And now the secret number 3, which is the lard, the pork fat. And this is the important part to give the noodle the richness in flavor. You can certainly buy them from store, or I will show you how to make the better ones at home. I always keep a small jar of lard in the refrigerator and it can last for like half a year. And it is super tasty if you use the lard to stir fry the vegetables. There are 2 kinds of pork fat can make lard. One part is from the pork belly, like the one in my video, and the lard has a smoother flavor which can be used for both savory and the sweet dishes. And the other part of fat is from the back, which has a stronger taste, and the lard is only used for savory dishes. You can use oil to create the lard and it is faster and it tastes better, but it's also easier to overcook and it won't last as long if you store them later. So this method is good if you want to make a smaller amount quickly for use right away. But normally I will use water to extract the lard because I would like to make a bunch at a time so I can use it later. Cut the pork fat into small chunks, then put in a pot. Add enough water to cover the fat fully. Then turn the heat to high until the water boils. Now turn the heat to medium and stew the fat, and the water should turn gradually to milky white. Using water will keep the temperature at 100 degrees or 212 Fahrenheit, so it won't reach the Maillard reaction so quickly. So that means it will take longer time to extract the oil and won't turn to golden brown so quickly. So this way, the lard will have a much fresher taste and will last longer. Stir the fat occasionally until the water will be all evaporated, so the color turns from milky white to a light translucent golden color. At this point, turn the heat to low. And I like to use a tongue to squeeze the fat and stir at the same time. It is very effective and also very satisfying. One important thing is to turn off the heat before the fat turns to golden. Now strain the oil and you will have a bowl of clear golden pork oil. And it will become milky white pork lard when it is cold. And it will be a bit hardened when it's refrigerated, but can last really long. Now we have all the three important ingredients, and it's the time to prepare the bowl. Add the salt, soy sauce, and the lard into the bowl, and then fill it with the broth. Try to use a large pot with lots of water to boil the noodle, so the temperature can be kept high and the noodle will have better texture. Once the water is boiled, add half cup of cold water and let it to boil again. Then strain the noodle and get rid of the excess water and put them in the beautiful broth. Sprinkle the green onion and you are all done. The three secret ingredients are a rich broth, perfect cooked noodle, and a spoon of lard. And this is what makes the perfect bowl of Shanghai Clear Ramen noodle, or called Yang2 Chun1 Mian4. It looks easy, but it does take a lot of work to make the extra 20% and turn it from a good bowl of noodle to a great bowl of ramen noodle.